All right, everybody, how you doing? Hi and welcome. I know for some of you, it's been it's been a while since we've done a Q&A. For some of you, this is your first time here. Welcome. Been investing some time in getting the software set up so that everything works as best as properly. So what we are doing today is if things are going off perfectly, we have 3 Facebook groups and the YouTube channel. So all 4 locations are going at this exact moment. There was only one hiccup, as that I cannot see the comments on YouTube, which is unfortunate. And I don't even know why. So I can't see the comments on YouTube. I can see the comments in all of our other Facebook groups. So feel free to start typing in the chat if you haven't already. If this is one of your first times here, hi, my name is Jay. We've been doing Q&As for our members for quite a number of years, making sure that they get their questions answered as it relates to real estate and short-term rentals, etc. And we typically do this on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So welcome for those of you who don't get to be here often. And for those of you who are here all the time, welcome back. So that way we can continue our chat and making sure that you get your questions answered. So here's how this works. Basically, you type the questions, I answer them. If the questions stop, we're kind of done. Simple as that. We typically go for about an hour or less, depending on the number of questions that you guys have. The more questions, the better. And I answer them so that you can, most importantly, stay focused and active inside of your real estate investing business or short-term rental business or whatever it is that you're doing out there to produce cash flow. So hopefully that's exciting for you. Even if it's your first time here, we're definitely glad to have you. So from time to time, what's going to happen is that right over here on this screen is I have all of the other locations where this is being broadcast so that I can grab the questions. I will grab the questions, repeat the question, and answer the question. That's pretty much how it works. So make sure if you want your question answered, you type it now or anytime. When the question hits you, type it, because I'm always going to be searching on the screen looking for the questions regardless of where that is. So with that being said, Mark, who is this? What group is this? This is the short-term rental group. I see a number of comments. I see Daryl is here, Mark is here, Veronica, hiya, how are you guys doing? I'm so glad to hear that. Hey Susan, I see you as well. And then those are the individuals that I see at the moment. So let's look for some questions and see what we got. Ladero says hello. Mark says hi. Veronica says hello. Hi, Veronica. What's up? Hey, hiya. Are you back from Thailand? I think that's where you were. Veronica, oh my God, my grandson is being evacuated from his daycare school in Orange County. There was an explosion. There was an explosion at a daycare in Orange County. That's where I live. Uh-oh. Nice haircut and a shave. Thanks, guys. I was thinking the same thing with the haircut. Yes, I tend to do that from time to time. I appreciate that as well. Elke, hello. How are you? Quentin, what's up? And I think I said hello to Susan already. Let me see if I'm going to look on my phone to see if I can figure out how to get to the questions from YouTube as well, because I see that they're watching, but it doesn't show me where to click to find like their questions or comments, and that's what I'm trying to figure out still at the moment. But for those of you who I can already see, go ahead and type your questions in the chat and we will make sure to get those answered. So I'm trying every YouTube app I know to hopefully make this happen. Let me see. No, view more. That's not doing it either. YouTube settings. None of these things are telling me what I want to know about where your questions are for YouTube. Anyway, let's see. Also, remember, if I haven't answered your question, it's probably because I don't see it. So type it. It's not that I don't want to. Hey, Chris, long time no talk. What's up? How are you? And I'm just hitting refresh on these streams, making sure that I haven't missed your questions already. At any rate, oh dear Lord, what just happened? Great. I just lost all of the chat rooms. Give me 1 second, please. One moment. I can't see any of them. So I'm assuming they're still going. I really don't know right now. That's pretty awesome. Like, what just happened? Oh boy. I'm bringing them back one at a time, I hope. Yep, there's one. Perfect. Oh, don't need the sound. Okay, excellent. So this one has Marcos in it. Hey Marcos, how you doing? I see you there. So I've got it back. So give me 1 second for those of you who just typed in a question. Totally missed it. Let me go here. Yep, I think I found the next one. Oh my goodness. I literally just closed all of them all at once. But hey, here's the good news. The streaming is working. Okay, so hey Renee, I see you. Excellent. And then let's go one more. This way I should be able to refresh without any issues. Come on. Oh my goodness. There we go. Excellent. There it is. Excellent. Then this one has Susan. Excellent. So here we are. Awesome. That was a little emergency, but we got it all fixed now. Hey Marcos, how you doing? The major metro area of Denver says short-term regulations, says short-term rentals have regulations and pretty much are illegal. Any strategies or suggestions? It's in the pretty much. That's really where it is, Marcos. For Denver, there are a couple areas where, you know, it can be a little bit challenging. And Denver is definitely one of those. Not Sacramento, San Francisco, as well as New York. But pretty much is what you have to look at. It's not that they're first of all, they're not illegal. They have severe restrictions on when and where how to do them. That's really what it is. And in almost every case that I've ever looked at, that's what you have to look for, is the when and the where. If I remember correctly, in Denver, they wanted, and one of the major things that they wanted was that make sure that people actually did them in properties that they either lived in or owned. So that was part of it, definitely in the Denver world. But again, many of the places where you need to be looking tend to be owner-controlled property, but most specifically, did that come out right? Most specifically tend to be in what areas of zoning that things tend to go towards. So first of all, I don't do the word pretty much. There is no such thing as pretty much. It's like, let's find out exactly by reading the actual ordinance, not reading the newspaper's reporting of the ordinance, but let's start out with that. And usually in there, that's where I have found the opportunity for well, everybody. So that's really what we talk about most of the time, so long as that makes sense. And let me see, when I'm looking over here, like that this is me looking for more questions. So I see that, Marcos. I'm gonna keep going to the next one. Oh, look at this. Lorena, has anyone ever used logix.com? Let me look at that, and I'll pull that up. I think I should be able to pull that up on everybody's screen so you can see what I'm looking at. LOD is loved by so many. There would be, okay, so this is I'm not quite sure what you're looking for from them, but there's many reasons why we've chosen the PMS systems that we've chosen, and again, I have never used them, but they don't qualify based upon the fact that they don't have the proper connections to pricing that's necessary. So yeah, that's really what it comes down to. It's one thing to have a software, it's another to have a software that actually works with the system that you're actually running. So I'm gonna keep moving. Got it. Hey everyone. Hey Darren, how are you? I'm gonna keep going, looking for more questions. Susan, what's this? What are your thoughts on using business credit for building short-term rentals? Been running the cash flow game for years and haven't found investors yet or players. Rural areas, it's just what it is. So I need to find a different route. Yes, totally understood. So it's funny that you mentioned that, Susan. It really is, because I'm aware that business credit is an avenue that exists. I don't tend to talk about things until I've perfected the path so that everyone can follow. So the best I am going to tell you right now is stay tuned, because that is a topic that has come up in some of our higher level groups around how to continually grow. And one of the things that we are planning on talking about at an upcoming summit that you may want to be at. So that is all I'm going to tell you for now. And pay attention to your email regarding the details for the next upcoming summit and some of those topics that we will be discussing there. So, is it Umair? I don't know if I'm getting your name right. If I've totally butchered, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about purchasing a short-term rental with my full solo 401k. That is not a question, so I'm not quite sure what you want me to do with that. But if you phrase it in the form of a question, pretend like it's Jeopardy, and I'll do my best. Jay, are you teasing another amazing something? I'm teasing only those things that I test, and as I begin to get positive results from those tests, I begin to let you guys know things that will likely matter in your future. That's all I'm going to say. Umair, I said it perfectly. Awesome. Great. Is that something you've seen people do? Use a 401? Yeah, retirement plan funds. I mean, there's nothing. Well, what has me concerned about your question is when you said you're purchasing a short-term rental. I don't know quite what you mean by purchasing. Like, are you purchasing the equipment? Are you talking about purchasing a property and then putting the furniture inside? I don't know really what purchasing means. So that's really my challenge right there. But have people use their 401ks to buy real estate? Yeah. Have they used their 401ks to fund equipment purchases? Certainly. For furniture and all that stuff. Yeah. All of that is normal. That's not abnormal. At least not abnormal or even unique in my world. So I'm more concerned, are you talking about buying a building or leasing a building so that you have control, or a unit so that you have control, and then going forward? That's really the more important question. Let me go back, looking for more questions. Marcos, best CRM software hardware for a membership club for REI education. Please explain what you mean, Marcos. I'm trying to make sure. Are you saying you're trying to start a real estate investment club and you're looking for CRM software? I don't know what you mean by hardware. I don't know what hardware you would need for a membership club. And specifically, is this online? Is this in person? That you're looking for. That's really important to understand the differences between. Let's see. And the Tokit fixed their problem. Oh, hold on. Hiya. What is this? It says, Jay, I don't understand rate mapping. Yeah, I understand that one. I understand that you don't understand. We are on Airbnb at Booking.com, and our pricing is done by Price Labs in sync with Tokit. How does rate mapping and Tokit factor into that equation? At the moment, it doesn't, based upon what you're saying. It will once you add a third channel. So for now, you don't have to worry about it. But there will come a time when, and by third channel, I mean maybe you want to build your own direct website. That's when rate mapping is going to matter. It kind of matters now, but the way that you have things set up, it's technically you're already doing that, because I'm assuming your rates are directly connected to Airbnb via PriceLabs, and then you have a second connection with PriceLabs to Tokeet, and your Tokeet connection is a child of your Airbnb the listings inside of PriceLabs. And if that's the case, then you've technically already done some rate mapping and you don't need to do anything else. Now, once you add your own website or some other channel, then yes, rate mapping is going to matter. But it's a way of basically saying these rates apply during these periods, etc. And that's basically what Tokeet calls it. So like if you had a summer rate of one kind and a fall rate of a different kind, high versus low seasons, etc. Right now, you don't have to worry about it. The way we have things set up, you don't have to worry about it just yet. However, it's coming, and I know it's coming. So Lorena says, has Tokeet fixed their problem? Tokeet didn't have the problem. It was Airbnb that had the problem. But the long story short is, yes, for the most part, most of the softwares have fixed their API issues and have been able to get things caught up. All right, I'm just bouncing back and forth for those of you who may have joined us late. All I'm doing is answering your questions. And as I continue to answer your questions, just type them in the chat so that I can keep answering your questions. That's really what we're doing here today. And there's those of you, I know some of you on YouTube, you could be typing. For some reason, the chat for YouTube is not working, and I apologize for that. I don't know why. Everything was working yesterday. I tested. Anyway, the stream is working, so that's a miracle. We'll take that, and just know that we're doing our best to figure that piece out. But for those of you in one of the Facebook groups, keep typing. I keep hitting refresh on this screen over here, looking for your questions. All right. Do you co-host? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Martin, because if in any way you're referring if I host on behalf of someone else or for someone else, the answer is no. But my listings are definitely, yeah, I think that's what you're after. But again, there's no reason to do so when you can just have your own listings. Susan, I had a person recently tell me that he had all sorts of investors if I could show him 20% cash on cash return. Now, my understanding of that is that it gets figured out when you sell the asset. How would I figure out cash on cash return for a short-term rental? Well, it's the simplest equation. It's going to be cash received divided by cash invested. And your cash received is going to be income minus expenses equals net operating income. That's really the simplest formula on the planet. To give it to you, you can make it more complicated, but don't. Please don't. You can, but don't. All right. Oh, lots of questions just pouring from everywhere. I love it. Yes, for online education, there is. Okay, got it. So Marcos, there is no one best CRM software, hardware, etc. I do believe a lot of people will eventually end up at Infusionsoft, but Infusionsoft is not really CRM. It's more marketing automation, and CRM also implies that you're going to. It totally depends on how you're going to actually build your community or club. Like, are you actually ever going to have physical salespeople on the phone for anything? I mean, there are too many if then that questions to that. There is no, you use the best tool for the job, and the problem is the job of a real estate investment club or what have you that you're looking to build is well, they're different. They're always different. Let's see, and let's go to next question. Okay, thanks for answering that question about rate mapping. I thought I was just being dense. No, it's actually a confusing topic. It's actually a confusing topic, so you're fine. Sarah, I can't figure out rate mapping either. How does it work with 3+ channels? That's when it matters. Do you have to type in each rate for every night? So confused. And the answer is yes. The way that it currently is implemented in the version of Kotoki, once you go to that 3rd channel, yes, it needs to be manually updated. I know you didn't like that answer, but that's the answer at the moment. Stay tuned, though. Stay tuned. There is rumor of some updates coming. As some of you know, that we are often in contact with a lot of the platforms that we've recommended and their owners, etc., to find out more information first so that we can help you guys use it better. Paul Hayden says hello. Well, hi, Paul. All right, gonna keep moving. Moving. What type of real estate investing do I like most? The one that produces cash flow, Umair. That's the answer. And that's not, I'm not being evasive. That's the answer. The name of the company is Cash Flow Diary, because I've often said and say again that I am asset agnostic. I don't really care what the asset is, because I care that it produces cash flow. That's what's important to me. That's what should be important to you, in my opinion, is that it produces cash flow. Whether it's, real estate or, oh, here's one. I'm going to show you guys something right now. I interviewed this guy for the podcast a little bit ago, and I want you to look at this. This is something I've been looking at for time to time. I don't know. Let me see if I can sign into my account real fast. But nope. I guess I didn't save it. I thought I saved it, but maybe not. But what this is this is a site where you can actually buy royalties for songs that you may be familiar with or may not be familiar with. I don't really know. So what it comes down to is you can buy royalties for these songs, and these royalties obviously produce cash flow. The royalty being the asset. Again, if that's so, I'm again asset agnostic. What I care about, like, who's this? I don't even know. I have no clue who this artist is at all. Nor do I need to know right now to explain this. Here's what I do know, is that if I wanted to buy this, I could for $9,100. And the last 12 months, it produced $1,854. I can do quick math and go, is that worth my $9,100 or not? First payment would be June 18th, and it would be life of author plus 70 years. So what does that mean? That means life of author plus 70 years. That's going to be a long time. So if this is a popular song over that 70-year period, in theory, I'll not only make my money back, but do more. But that's an asset. My point here is I don't really care what the asset is most of the time. And I care that it produces cash flow. So my favorite is the one that produces cash flow. That's my answer, and I am sticking to that. Okay. What's the easiest way to find furniture brokers in your area in Chicago? Well, I'm Aquila. I think I'm saying this correctly. This is how I would start. What I would do is furniture brokers in Chicago. Sorry, 1 second. Brokers. Why am I not able? I don't know. I would start there. For some reason, I can't go to Google right now, and not really sure what that's about. But I can't go there. Pretty strange. But that's what I would do. I would start with looking up furniture brokers on Google. Is Google down? Is the world over? No, I'm just kidding. Go back, looking for more questions. One. Thank you. Yes, I was referring to managing someone else's unit for a percentage. Thanks. Got it. Aquila. Sorry. I tried and I totally butchered it. Aquila. Wasn't there a movie like Aquila in the Bee? I don't know. Maybe I'm making it up. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. Questions. What else do you do these days besides short-term rentals? Marcos, I have changed the business to nothing but short-term rentals and helping other people getting involved in it. Because, as I've said before, and I now say again, if I started over in terms of real estate and everything, this is what I would be doing. I've never seen anything quite like this at all. I don't know how to say it. I've never seen anything else quite like it. So, therefore, it's what we do. And it's all we do. And it's how we do what we do. Period. So, hopefully that explains it. That this is what I do now. And if you're following the system that we've given to everybody, you also realize that it doesn't take up a whole bunch of time, which is pretty cool. That you know that's the main thing. 1 second. Thanks for taking the time to ask your question. As mentioned in your arrival instructions, the fastest way to receive support is to message us. In your arrival instructions, the code for entering the building was given. That code is Additionally, the code for entering your specific unit was also given and is the last 4 digits of your phone number. Also, in the instructions, you are sent a text and SMS message that gives you access via the mobile app as well. Sorry for any delays. Please message us for fastest response. Regards. West Egg Rentals Guest Support Department. Boom. So, people, you know what's interesting to me? What that was is there was a person who was actually trying to arrive today, but what I don't understand, and maybe you can answer this for me, is you make the reservation online, you use your cell phone to do it, you use all of this technology, and we send you all the instructions, but you choose not to read those instructions, and then you get upset that you cannot gain entry to the building. Can someone please explain that to me? Like, why are you upset with me when you did not read the instructions? It's all good. Moving on. Next. Let me see. Questions. Let's see. Whoa. Ooh, some questions here. Renee, today I had an inquiry about my 2-bedroom loft asking for a discount. He said the rate Airbnb is charging him is $912 for 3 nights. He's coming during a festival, 4 people. How do I make sure I don't undercut myself too much to get the business? Airbnb shows my cleaning service fee is $698. Who says you have to give him a discount at all? If he's coming for a festival, then it's probably heightened rates anyway. Just because he wants a lower price doesn't mean you have to give it. So let's see, 4 people at $698. I'm doing some quick math. 1 second. 4 people, $698 divided by 4 is 4 people for 3 nights. So that means divided by 3, they're paying $58.17 a night per person. That doesn't sound like a bad price to me. Moving on. That's just how I see it. Darren, there are a couple of nice places I've found available that have a bunch of amenities and look like they might be REIT, and in their special features is short-term available. Is there a way to check if it's a REIT? If it has a website, sorry, Darren. If it has a website, go to the bottom of that website. It usually tells you who it's owned or managed by. Or if you can go by there, pick up one of their applications. Again, at the bottom of that application, it'll tell you who it's owned or managed by, and that's the information you would need to look up. Or you might actually see it on the name of the sign of the complex as well. Aquila in the B. Yes, that's what I was thinking of. I knew there was a movie. Thank you. Would you say short-term rentals is okay? Hold on. Whoa, there's so many questions here. Whoa, Aquila. Yes, no multi-units. I don't know what you mean, Umar, about no multi-units. Again, and I find this interesting that people somehow think that I've done something other than still do things with apartment buildings. How I use an apartment building may have changed. I may not rent that unit on a long-term basis. Okay. Instead, I take that unit and rent it on a short-term basis. Still an apartment building. Yeah, so just sit with that one for a second. Quentin, I've made up my mind. I'm going to do short-term rental only. You know, Quentin, I am not going to fault you for that decision. I agree with you a lot. Susan, are profit margin and cash-on-cash return different things? Yes. Or the same thing with different names? No. That's the answer. Susan, one of the things that I didn't, let's see if I can even go to this site right now before I try to Investopedia, because I don't know why I couldn't go to Google earlier. Yeah, that makes no sense. So one of the things that I did when I was trying to learn, and what I would still recommend you do, is go to Investopedia.com. When it comes down to learning terms and their differences and their meaning, etc., Investopedia can be a great website for making that happen. So that should help for sure. All right, let me go back. Would you say short-term rentals are for everyone? I would say they're for more people than they're not, because there are some people who do not wish to be hospitable, I guess, is the best way of saying it. Remember, it's a service business, no matter how you look at it. It's a service business, and there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of moving parts. More so than what some people want to actually deal with and do. So I will say, though, the person who it is not for is typically been, and this is going to sound ironic, it's typically been the people who I have found who have the hardest time are those who have been long-term landlords. Because they've gotten used to, I get the property, I focus on the property, I make the property nice and habitable, etc., and someone else puts in the furniture and does all that work, and then I screen a tenant and I put them in there, and then I just let it run. There's a lot of work involved in turnover and setting up a system that turns things over, and not everybody wants to do that work. And if you've gotten used to your portfolio operating a certain way, and now all of a sudden you're doing turnovers 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 times a month on one unit, you're like, I don't know if I like all this work. And that's fine. But that's usually the person who I have found who just doesn't want to do it. Now, that doesn't mean if you've never owned property that it's not for you. It means I'm specifically talking to the person who's had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 units already and is now thinking of doing it themselves. They usually don't last long. Now, they make great landlords for the person who's looking to get started, but they're usually not the person who should be doing it. But that's a whole nother story. Okay, I'm sitting with it. You're welcome. No problem. Thank you. I had forgotten that website. No problem, Susan. It's what we do. Let's go back. No more questions from Marcos. Whoa, lots of questions there. Okay, hold on. Deborah says hello. That was fun to watch. Not sure what that was. Is the guest under 35? Yes, James. Doesn't read. Paul, hi, Jay. I don't want to seem like a silly question, but I must ask, is there a pad pad to do STR when you have no money and poor credit? Is there a pad? Paul, I'm going to PAD. No, that's not near. I don't know what pad is, but I think what you meant was way. Is there a way to do short-term rentals when you have no money and poor credit? And the answer is yes. I think that's what you meant. But what is written and what I am reading is completely different. If I'm answering the wrong question, then you're going to have to correct me later. But the answer to your question is yes. That's one of the reasons I like it. Because if you are following what is inside the materials that you have access to, you know that we primarily focus on you using a corporation to actually be on the lease. So that's number one. Number two, we also go over under the financing module ways to actually finance this without using your own money or credit. What's really necessary and what the marketplace needs is knowledgeable operators, and you of course can totally be one. So hopefully that works. Because guests don't like to read the long instructions. Lavrina, this is not long this time. You don't understand. We have shortened it. They just don't want to read. Anyway, can I make a video? I'm making a video right now, aren't I, Mark? I don't know what you mean about getting into the unit. Got it. Yes. This is actually what's sad about this, Mark, is that this one is actually the easiest location to literally get into. You need two codes. Two. The front door code for the main door and the door code for your unit. That's it. Like, go to the door, put in the code that was sent to you. Go to your next door, put in the code. Done. Ta-da. There is literally no complications. There's no crazy map. It's very clear. Very easy. Unless you don't read. Anyway, moving on. Renee, what's up? Hey, Phyllis, how are you? Sam, what's going on? Maybe a plan. I don't know what you mean. I need more. Path. Is there a path? Well, pathway. Did I still answer the question, Paul? I hope so. Sam, maybe Paul had a typo. Maybe a plan. Oh, got it. Yeah, I know he had a typo. I wasn't really sure. So hopefully that works. All right, let me look for more questions. Again, if you've typed a question and you're not on YouTube, and I'm sorry, again, YouTube, I have no idea. Like, for some reason, I can't go to Google right now. I can't go to YouTube and see your questions either, and I have no idea why. Which is strange. But anyway, if I haven't answered your question, it's because I haven't seen it. So type it. And go to another. There we go. Okay, how do you get over cities' regulations and restrictions in regards to short-term rentals? I don't know that I get over them. I do read them though. That's the first thing, because we as humans, we tend to make assumptions. So we'll see a newspaper headline that says such and such city imposes regulations or ordinances on short-term rentals. Okay, cool. Got it. I know you've seen this. And then in our head we go, oh, that means I can't do short-term rentals in that city. No, that's not what it means. It means that there are now regulations where there wasn't before. It doesn't mean you can't do it. And again, most of the time when I have read these, this is here's where and or how you can do it. Oh. Or it's specifically here's where we don't want you to do it. Oh. And the newspaper says there's regulations, there's ordinances. We don't take the time to read the actual ordinance. And I know it's boring, but that's the answer. And I wish there was a blanket general rule of thumb I could give you other than read the ordinance. Right? We might get some shirts, read the ordinance. Anyway, but that's the answer. And because each city does it differently, you have to actually read the ordinance in order to figure it out. Right? And that's really what it comes down to. I don't know how else to say it. So you don't get around it, you work within it. But what is the ordinance? I don't know, because it changes zip code to zip code, city to city, county to county. And that's part of what makes it tough, but that's also what protects the opportunity for those of you who are looking at being rentalpreneurs. Why? Because most people won't read it. Period. They're just going to take what CBS or NBC or CNBC or whatever you know what I'm saying, CNN, also known as constant negative news, right? Whatever they said as gospel. And like, oh, well, the news said you can't do it. No, they said regulations were passed. Cool. And here's the truth. You want these regulations. I want them, because that means those who are hobbyists won't be able to survive in the marketplace. We want them. We really do. Now, you want to expand your footprint as wide as you possibly can before they get here, because regulations are going to make it harder. But you want them, because the more hurdles the people who come after you have to jump through, the longer your opportunity is protected. This is why the big boys, we'll call them hotels, workers' unions, etc., are in the game of creating these hurdles, because they're just trying to slow it down. It is what it is. But that's a whole nother question, whole nother topic, whole nother day. You get my point. All right. Martin, do you have a short-term rental financing module? Yes, it's inside what we call the blueprint. Inside the blueprint, it's a module specifically on financing. And for those of you in the mastermind group, we have hours on financing and raising capital, etc. Yes, you have the raising private capital module for real estate, but again, there was a special module done specifically for short-term rentals inside the short-term rental product. Shay, what's up? Do you have time? Do you have to have money to lease the apartment underneath your LLC? I don't think I understand the question. I mean, some money has to come, rent money has to come from somewhere. But can you fill the application out without necessarily having the money at that moment? Sure, absolutely. But you've got to have some startup capital, and that startup capital can come from many different places, like many different places. And what's really interesting is that the amount of startup capital you need is nowhere near what it would take to typically purchase a house, etc. So you're taking significantly less risk for a higher ROI in a shorter period of time, and that's what I get a little excited about. Okay, I'm looking for more questions. So, whoa, here we go. Let me scroll down. Sarah, I heard you this morning on the best real estate investing podcast ever from 2013. Oh my God, have I really been doing podcasting and stuff that long? That was a fun surprise. Well, you just never know where I might show up, Sarah. You just never know. James, if the guest is under 35, we just ready ourselves for crazy questions. We have a YouTube video that shows how to open the door. The guest did not watch the video and messaged us asking us how to open the door. James, you get me. You understand my, like, literally, dude. I've automated everything for you. You're a millennial. You should be used to using apps and receiving messages that way. I have sent you messages. Messages with words that you can read. Pictures, simple. Press here. Open. Gain access. No. I'd rather call you 6 times, stand outside the door, not read the directions, and get upset. Okay. You guys. Woo, buddy. You get me. You understand my pain, my problems. Okay. Okay. Hold on. She's asking another question. J-A-H. One second. Oh. So that means. One second. We are fixing the her challenges, gonna make it easy as best I can to make sure that she can get in. I'm also in the process, for those of you who have been following the upgrades and changes that we've been making to the system, I'm in the process of interviewing 3 virtual assistants, because this is the next part that I just don't ever want to be doing again. And now that I've done it enough times, yeah, that we're just never going to be doing this part again. Ta-da! So, and because this is the next piece of automation. Now, truth be told, the part that you see me doing right now really is about an hour a day of actual physical work, where you literally process your codes and whatnot for the people who are coming and remove the ones for the people who are leaving. And it's not really, it's honestly, it's not even that hard. All right, if that makes sense. With that being said, by outsourcing even that, what we'll be able to do is focus even more on growth, because that's the part that I get excited about, is being able to just focus more and more on the things that are going to put the highest and best use, that's the words I'm after, of your time, is what you should be doing. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm logging into my virtual system to where I get to add the whoops, did I do that too quickly? So I'm actually, what you see me doing is I'm logging into the system. Yep, I did that too quickly. Let me remove this. All I'm doing is I'm adding the codes and whatnot that will give the person access. And because of the system that I'm using, because the system that I'm using will allow me to do it in a web-based platform, which was one of the requirements, I can outsource this piece, right? I can outsource all of these things, which is the whole point in my opinion. So give me 1 second. I am going to, you can't see this part for privacy. Okay, because it has her phone numbers and stuff. And then we're gonna go to 12 and remove. And who is in 12? Oh, Lilia. And yeah. 394. Add new. And then 7394, and then save. So what it comes down to is that when you're putting together your system, no matter what kind of system you have, you need a place. I can show you this, where you can do things in an online platform. Like, I can control all of my locations, and this is not all of them because we're still switching over from our old system. And I can control all my locations from a mobile app or a web app or what have you. And once now that we've done it that way, I can now outsource that part. So when you're running, I only have 24 locations, but when you're running those 24 locations, that becomes a constant task, right? So I can outsource that piece too, which, to be honest, once that's outsourced, I don't really know what I'll be doing on a daily basis. that much of a rush. Thanks for your patience. Our tech. Boom. So, yeah. Now let me go find more of your questions. Nope, that's Marcos. Let's see. We are questions. Jay, you don't need to read this out loud on air, but your microphone is distorting if you turn the input gain down by 6 to 20%. 1 second. Sorry. Let me see. That would be this one. So, did I don't know what I just did. Oh, okay, so let me try that again. Is that this one? 1, 2. Is that better? I have no idea. I'm sorry. If it's not better, then I'm doing something wrong and I don't know it. Sorry. But that should hopefully be better. Paul, let me know. And Veronica, I send check-in instructions 2 to 3 days before their arrival, so it's fresh on their mind, and also request them to respond that they've reviewed and understand. I never get calls asking how to get in. You know what, Veronica? That's a good. I have never asked them to respond, making sure that they've gotten it. I will add that. That's a great idea. Jay, with the new system, do you add the guest phone number? Yes. If so, I know. If so, it sends them an invite to download the app. We just provide the door code only. If you're inviting to use the app, is it just a backup or not? I invite because I don't want any phone calls, so I send the invite for the app and send them the code. I just do it either way. That way I don't get the, well, I got other friends who'd like to be able to get in question, and I've got the app as well. So that's just what we do to take care of that on the front end, and I don't have to worry about it. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, you could say it's a safety net. Moving on. Oh my, hold on, more questions. The shit, something is, move it. There's something over your question. There you go. Oh no, Martin. Oh, okay, don't have the blueprint. Can you give us one financing tactic now? Sure, it's what I would call, so if you're used to the raising private capital module for real estate, it's what I would, there's a quadrant 3 transaction that makes it simple, where you literally get a loan, and if they need security, you use what is known as a UCC filing. Simple. Now, that didn't make sense, you probably want to get the module, but that's the answer. That's the easiest answer. Shay, you're welcome. Breathe, Jay, breathe. I'm breathing slowly. Ahmed, what's up? Just get Guesty to virtually manage your short-term rental for now. Nope, don't do that. Can't wait for Google AI solutions to virtually interact with my guests and save me loads of time. Nope. There's many very specific reasons why we have switched from Guesty. We used to recommend them. Many specific reasons why we no longer do. Quentin says, I can hear you. Martin says, thanks. You're welcome. Let me go back. And more. Ladero says, got it. Perfect. Use the app, or is it just the backup? Guess is on it. Okay, I think I got them all. I don't see any more questions. And again, for those of you on YouTube, I'm sorry. I have no idea why I can't. I just don't know. I don't know what it is. For some reason, I have not been able to pull up your feed to get your questions, so I do apologize for that. Anyway, let me see. Jay, you mentioned, oh, sorry, last one. Yesterday, one of our guests walks up to the front desk person and so she asked David, get this, how do I turn on the stove? David really didn't have a response other than, did you turn the knob? Coming soon, YouTube video for how to turn the stove on and off. James, I am with you, bro. I share your pain. Like that. Like, that's a question? I mean, I've even gotten, okay, so if we're going to have this question, like crazy stuff guests have asked you, like, you're like, how do you manage to live, like, and survive? I've gotten the, how do you turn on the lights? I'm like, the light switch on the wall? I'm like, I have no idea how else to answer that question. You flip the light switch on the wall. And then, and then one of my favorites. Okay, so many of you may be familiar with this particular. Oh, can I not go there either? Oh, okay, hold on. Yes. Okay. You may be familiar with Nest and their thermostats. One of the reasons I like them, very, very simply, is because it's very clear. Left makes it cold. Turn it left. Cold. Turn it right. Hot. Simple. But you still get the, how do I turn the, I'm like, left for cold, right for hot. Done. Yeah, but do I just put my hand on it? Yes. It's really interesting to me, some of the questions that we get. Like, wow, how did you manage to actually make the reservation? Because I don't understand right now. Oh, God. Let's see. Is there a way to finance the price of the course? We do have a payment plan, KB Bryant. I'm actually not in charge of my own pricing and payment plan stuff anymore, so I don't even know. Just go to the link where you can watch the presentation and discuss the details of that there. I can't even answer that question because I don't know. That's funny. Angel says, hello, Mr. Massey. You can just call me Jay. I'm new and interested in wholesale and co-worker wholesaling due to very little capital. Do you have a course on teaching? I live in San Gabriel Valley. Angel, it's what do we call that thing? I'm sorry. I've been doing this teaching thing for a while, and we have a number of courses. I know if you go to our website and you see a presentation called how to get 24 units in 12 months or something like that, I think that's what it was called. It will go over the details of that for you, Angel. I'm sorry I can't be more specific. That's why I make courses, so that I don't have to remember everything, so that while I'm remembering it, I can put it there for you. Okay. Breaker might have gotten tripped. No lights. No, Veronica, I would love that to be the case. I would love that to be the case if the lights wouldn't turn on. No. I'm literally telling you, I have had to describe how to turn on a light switch. Like, because that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the obvious something else has broken and doesn't work. But no. It's literally flip the light switch on the wall. Oh, thanks. Got it. I mean, I'm just like, okay. I am amazed. I'm amazed. You mentioned trying the Your Welcome Guide book and tablet. Have you included them in your systems? Not yet, TJ. You will know, I promise, once we do. Ladero, did you give a Toadkeet update? If so, can I go back and listen to the recording? Ladero, I did not, but I do believe I'm going to be on a phone call with them here in the next few days. So I probably will have one next Tuesday for sure. Jay, no, you asked that question already. Veronica, okay, she already asked that question. Looking for more questions. Yeah, we need to see a list of your craziest questions asked by guests. I go back and forth thinking like, man, I think on the YouTube channel, we could just literally make a whole collection of this is what, between what guests say, what they do, and what they've left behind. You just got the, it's an adventure, people. It's an adventure. Fire information, Jay. Yeah, I've got so much, Angel, because I've had the privilege of doing hundreds of transactions, so many different states and jurisdictions. It's not even funny. Yeah. So, Ahmed, which dynamic pricing website would you prefer to use? Now, this can vary depending upon your region. The primary one that we recommend is Price Labs, Ahmed. But if you're in not the U.S., there could be a different one, either Beyond Pricing or Use Wheelhouse. But also Use Wheelhouse depends on, again, it comes down to where are you. But for the most part, we tend to recommend Price Labs. I've watched the videos and I am very interested. However, financially unable to pay for the course, but would love to get started. Need help with the financing. Got it. So KB Bryant, let me talk to you for a second. All right. And I will say it this way. Nobody has a money problem. You have an idea problem. Let me explain. I know it feels like, no, Jay, you don't understand my situation. I don't have the money. All right, cool. I hear you. What I want to share with you, KB, is I started squatting in bank-owned property. This was me starting. I had a credit score of 398. My wife was unable to eat or drink. I could not walk and talk simultaneously without fainting. And to that version of myself, I would still say the same thing. You don't have a money problem, you have an idea problem. And here's what it comes down to. Take this pen, right? This writing instrument. There was a time where I'm assuming the person who invented this, they had a money problem. They're like, man, I sure would like to buy X, Y, and Z, but I can't. So what do I need to do? I need to come up with an idea and then sell that idea to other people, and then I would have the money. And that's really what it comes down to. That's how America kind of works. Come up with a great idea, get people to buy it, and now you've solved your money problem. So I say the same thing to you, sir, just on a different level. For me, at the beginning, it was selling stuff on eBay. That was the magical idea, is that I would go to garage sales, sell stuff on eBay. When CompUSA, if you remember that store, was going out of business, I would buy their inventory at a discount and sell it at a discount. You're like, dude, I don't have a CompUSA. Cool, but you have a garage sale nearby, right? So you can take those items, buy them at a discount, and sell it. You're like, dude, that'd be great, but I don't have money for a garage sale. Well, cool. Go in your closet like I did. And start selling the stuff that you are not using. How many of you know you've got at least one old cell phone that you are currently not using and you could sell? Even if it's only $30, $40, $50. Great. You are on your way. And my point, my friend, isn't that you don't lack the resources. It's the resourcefulness that ultimately makes the difference. And that's true for everyone. Because as you learn to solve a $2,000 resource problem, you can then learn to solve a $20,000 resource problem, and then a $200,000 resource problem, and then a $2 million resource problem. And the reason this is important skill set for you to learn is because you say to me, to Jay, hey, I can't buy the information. Well, if you can't figure out how to get a course, how on earth are you going to ever figure out how to get a property? Because, again, it's the same concept, just applied differently. So hopefully that makes sense. So you would find a way because you cared that much. And oftentimes what we're really lacking is a reason to care that much. And that's the gift that I was given. All of my struggle gave me a reason to risk, to care, to push, stay up late, get up early, do whatever it takes at the end of the day. And then eventually introduce myself to the new version of myself at the end. So I hear you. We're here to support you, but I will not handicap you. So hopefully that makes some sense. I'm going to keep looking for some more questions here. Nope, not there. Okay. I'm looking for more questions. If I haven't answered your questions because I don't see it, who are you using if not using Guesty anymore? Tokeet has become the platform of choice. Ahmed says in California, Orange County. Yeah, then Price Labs is going to do you fine, Ahmed. Angel, to start a short-term biz, what are the minimum capital that they need? I've had students start for as little as $500. Now, that's unrealistic for most people because in that case, they were using a room inside their existing living space, which you can do. I often tell people to budget $25 per square foot. Now, I am telling you a very conservative number. And by conservative, what that means is that I'm telling you to put more money aside than you'll likely need. $25 a square foot. So what does that mean? If you're using a 500 square foot place, $25 a square foot is going to mean you're going to need $12,500. Hopefully that makes some sense. If you're putting together a 1,000 square foot place, you're going to need 25 grand. That's just simply how the math works. Now, you will likely spend less. But I know if I tell you to put away more and you spend less, then that's great. If I tell you to put away less and then you get upset because you don't have enough, then you're mad at me. So there it is. But take the caveat of understanding that you need to know who you're going to serve. Because if you're serving the Nordstrom client versus the Walmart client, it's going to affect your startup capital needs, location, all these other things. That's the most important question. Whoop, whoop. Okay, if I haven't answered your questions because I don't see it, I am scanning one more time to look. Hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. For those of you that are members, you probably take this for granted. Those of you who are not and you just happen to be here today, congratulations, awesome. Hopefully we'll see you inside our membership area soon. Those of you on YouTube, again, I am absolutely sorry. I don't know why. I just can't see your questions. So, KB, it's Mrs. Sorry, but I received the information. You've truly enlightened me and brought tears to my eyes. Thanks, sir. Wasn't my intention to make you cry, but if I struck a nerve, then that's a good thing, because now maybe something new is awakened. There's a giant within you. This, I believe, is in all of us. And again, oftentimes we don't let the giant come out because either we're too comfortable, no one's challenged us to do so, we don't believe it would quote unquote happen for us, but all of that's just in your head. It really is. And like I said, I was given the gift of severe difficulties that I do not wish on anybody, unless it meant that you would actually respond in such a way as that the greatness inside you would come out. Then go for it. That's really what it comes down to. So, Susan says, thank you, Jay. So glad to see the Q&A again. Have a great one, and we'll catch you next week. Yes, that's the great idea. And for those of you who haven't seen it in a while, hey, we got the technology working again, which is exciting, right? So we spent some time, some effort, some money, making sure that it all comes back together, and it looks like it's working. So I'm pretty excited about that at the end of the day. And yeah. So don't let your questions go unanswered. So for those of you who are inside of our groups, make sure you type the questions in the Facebook group, because, hey, that's what they're there for. And then, I come and scoop them up and get them answered for you, keep you moving forward, because that's what we want to see. With all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.